And so far, the saving grace of the evening has been that at periodic intervals, I would go away from the microphone and sit down. Unfortunately for us, it's now the bit where I read my story. So, yes, luckily it's very short. I appear to specialise in very short things. So. Again, this audience on my side. This is called Eloise. A dove flies backwards above two groups, the punks and the romantics, who run towards each other screaming, "For more estate!" They meet in the middle and violence ensues. In an underpass nearby, a punk named Spaz puts an artist's easel on an upside-down shopping trolley. The Kirsty MacColl song, They Don't Know, plays in the background. Spaz rips up his red shirt and scatters the shreds over the trolley. On an easel, he puts a painting. The painting has been done on cheap card in poster paint. It shows a pink splodge that's supposed to be a human. The person has black dots for eyes, a big wobbly mouth, and half of her head is bald. Three tears fall down her cheeks. Spaz stands back and looks at his display. It's finished, nothing to do but wait. He can hear the fight above him, but does his best to ignore it. There's a breeze. He's cold. A woman comes into the underpass. She has one half of her face painted black, the other white. She wears a grey beret that hides the bald side of her head. Her name is Eloise. Says Spaz. He tries to wave, but it doesn't quite turn out right. He's done all of this for her. The punk's initial charge is fastest. They dive into the new romantics, kicking and screaming. Three punks have pinned down a new romantic, keeping his eyes open, holding his nose until he opens his mouth to breathe. Now they've got a spray paint can aimed directly at his face, their fingers pressed down on the nozzle. The new romantic gurgles. Another romantic has a mirror with him. He runs at a female punk and smashes it down over her head, breaking it into pieces. The punk can feel grains of glass moving under her eyelid. Another punk has styled her mohawk into spikes, rigid enough that she can punch holes in people's heads. One punk and his girlfriend have taken to biting chunks out of people. They regurgitate the meat into each other's mouths and make the other swallow. The one with the mohawk gets thrown into a wall and becomes stuck. The couple get their teeth kicked in. The new romantic with the mirror gets hit in the face and has his skull crack into 1,000 fragments. The shards float in the air, shimmering. Spaz first saw Eloise on a Saturday night at the Moore Estate concourse. His friends, as usual, were attacking a group of new romantics. Spaz hid under a tree till the fight was over and the punks had chased the romantics away. He came out of his hiding place and saw that one of the romantics had been left behind. Eloise sat on the concourse in tatters, her clothes torn and half her hair removed with a knife. She had been wearing a large silver suit, her face painted to resemble a mime. Now she cried and her makeup ran. This was the first time Spaz had seen someone in the estate cry. The emotion, the glimpses of skin beneath her clothes, and her makeup. This woman, Spaz suddenly realised, was real. She's beautiful, he thought. He ran off before she composed herself enough to notice him. A few days later, when out of his punk costume, Spaz noticed Eloise at a bus stop and followed her into the town centre, slipping a message into her bag when she wasn't looking. The message, written on the back of a Susie and the Banshees flyer, read, "Meet me at Moore Underpass," and gave a time and a date. The police are currently on their way to break up the Moore Estate fight. Eloise doesn't understand what she's looking at. To Spaz, his display in the underpass is a message. It shows how much he wants Eloise's face on a stage, a shopping trolley. How he wants to treat her like art, the painting. How she deserves to be surrounded by rose petals, his shirt. Mostly, he wants Eloise to know that she's at her most beautiful at her least done up, that she's a beautiful human being, first and foremost. He hopes that's a nice message. Why is this, she asks. Spaz can only smile and point to the display. Eloise waits for his answer. Spaz was once offered a drink by his friends, a shot of a mystery juice that would rock his world. It was bleach. His vocal cords were irreparable. "What's happened to you?" asked Eloise. Spaz's face has a game of tic-tac-toe carved into his cheek with a flick knife. by his two best friends. His back is covered in bruises and scars, some new, some old. Spaz puts up with them because he likes being a punk. He likes having the label. He doesn't know who he'd spend his time with if not his friends. He smiles and keeps trying to point to his art. Blood covers everything. The new romantic suits are stained and torn, much like the punk's clothes. Everything is a deep shade of red. The makeup has sweated away, all hair's been knocked from place. The two groups are merging. The clawing and tearing and grinding of flesh means that some people are sharing body parts. At least two people lie on each other with entangled intestines. A punk punches someone who may be a new romantic, who may be a punk. He does it listlessly, without aim. The new romantic, who may be a punk, just allows this. Eloise thought that, by accepting the invitation to the underpass, she was going to be walking into a trap, something violent and unpleasant as usual. She wonders what it would be like to be killed quite frequently. She isn't suicidal, she would never be able to go through with the act. But to have someone else kill her, she couldn't say that was too bad a compromise. She stares at Spaz's painting, really tries to see it. She realises that the brown squiggle in the top right-hand corner is supposed to be hair, that the pink splodge with black lines is therefore face. She realises what the painting is off. Shit, she says. You know, it's odd when I see myself without makeup sometimes. She smiles slightly. I don't always recognise myself. The fighting is quietening down. The Moor estate was meant to be a utopia, a land which the punks/romantics could call their own. Now everyone lies in a puddle on the floor. The police arrive and see little more than a red stain. You know, I've been a new romantic for what feels like ages, Eloise says. It's probably only been a few months. I saw them for the first time in a newspaper, and they were just so exciting, so new. I was plain, boring, hollow, but they painted their personalities on themselves. They were their own people. I wanted to be a person. She sighs. Look at us, she says. You with your statement made of trash, me with my personality of paint. We're failures, aren't we? The youth of England, stretching out to define ourselves. And we failed, haven't we? We failed. We're just so ugly. Eloise makes to leave. Thanks for this, she says. It's sweet. It's nice. And then she's gone. Spaz stares after her and knows his display hasn't worked. He tears it apart in a silent rage. The remains of the war are efficiently cleaned up. Soon it will be like nothing ever happened at all. Spaz's favourite song is A New England. Eloise's favourite song is A New England. Spaz listens mostly to The Damned. Thank you.